Okay, so yesterday I thought it was coincidental that Quentin Johnston was training with the boys in Dallas, but today the Kansas City Chiefs have requested another star wide receiver in the draft to come work out with Patrick Mahomes and the boys. And also, there's a star offensive lineman that the Kansas City Chiefs have a top 30 visit with. We are going to wrap our heads around all this craziness and discuss what this means for the Kansas City Chiefs in the draft. But before we do get into all of that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, as I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chief related that you do not want to miss out on. And without further ado, let's have some fun. We are 8 days away from the NFL draft. Count them, 8 Justin Ross days away from the NFL draft, or even Carlos Dunlap days away from the NFL draft. And you already know, we are going live all 3 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So please be sure to hit that notification button, subscribe to the channel because it's going to be a very eventful weekend and we're going to go pick by pick, analyze every pick and discuss them, and also, of course, get into the Kansas City Chiefs draft as well. And you guys do not want to miss out on any of that, and I look forward to seeing you all there. Now, if that wasn't crazy enough, let's get into some more crazy nonsense as yesterday, it caught all of our eyes that Quentin Johnston was with Patrick Mahomes and the boys in Dallas, running routes, getting a good workout in, and we just thought maybe Brett Veach had a setup workout to see what Quentin Johnston was all about, or maybe it's just because that's his home. He went to TCU and that's his stomping grounds, that's his backyards. It makes sense, either side. But now, there is a wrench in all of it where the Kansas City Chiefs have requested to have Zay Flowers go to Dallas and work out with Patrick Mahomes. And the request was granted because Zay Flowers was out there today running routes, catching passes from Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, what? This is a new type of scouting that I have never seen or heard about. I don't even know if this is legal. I don't even know if this is tampering. I have not seen any teams ever do this. And honestly, it's very unique on what Brett Veach is doing. Again, I don't know if this falls in the agenda of tampering or what may be whatsoever. I assume it does. I assume Brett Veach found a loophole. And of course, if he did, it's going to be adjusted next year and they're not going to allow it ever again. But hey, I love what it's doing. You bring Quentin Johnston yesterday, which actually he was there today again. You request Zay Flowers to come in, catch some passes from Patrick Mahomes. Maybe tomorrow you get a Jordan Addison, a JSN out there, and you scout these guys. You get your quarterback's perspective on who he likes and who he feels would fit great with the team. And I honestly love that because Patrick Mahomes has mentioned he wants his input on this draft and he wants to say, oh, I want this guy, I want that guy. As we mentioned, he had that with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, this is taking it up another notch because he's actually training with the guys. He gets to see their personality, what's he like with all the players around, and what kind of work ethic he brings on the field, and is he determined to take it to the next level. Those are all key factors. And I love that this is actually happening because, as I mentioned, I didn't even know this was a real thing. So I'm excited now to see, as every day passes by, who's going to be the next guy to join and how they're going to do moving forward. It's going to be something that's going to be interesting to see what the NFL does with it proceeding forward and how the NFL owners react to it and how teams react to it. Will teams start having their players do these type of meetups, and will ownership allow it? It's going to be interesting to see how the coming years move forward and if this is something that gradually increases or if this is something they take away. But now, we focused on Quentin Johnston a little bit yesterday and how I would like him in this offense. Let's focus on Zay Flowers because this can come a reality. And for this to become a reality, the Kansas City Chiefs would have to trade up if they fall in love with Zay Flowers. I think if I was, I don't even know how I would say that, but if I was in the draft and everything I've seen around NFL mock drafts, Zay Flowers is in that 20 range, like 20 to 25 range. So you would have to trade up for him. He definitely wouldn't be available at 31. Unlike Quentin Johnston, he has been rumored to slide and he might make it to 31. But Zay Flowers, he's got that explosive twitchiness, kind of like Tyreek Hill. Not saying he is as fast as the cheetah. Nobody is. But if Andy Reid wants a guy similar to Tyreek Hill, Zay Flowers is your guy. And honestly, Zay Flowers has put on 13 pounds of muscle throughout this offseason, and they're almost identical in stature now. They're not the biggest dudes, but for their size, they are pretty bulky. He is still speed, and he's electrifying. Just watch some of his tape. There's reasons why Coach Reid and Brett Veach want him out there in Dallas with Mahomes, because they want to see what he is all about. And if they want to try to get a replica of Tyreek Hill, Zay Flowers is your dude. There are things he has to polish up, but one thing I really love about Zay Flowers is that no one really focuses on. He plays bigger than his size. He will literally jump up and get a football. Something that I wish Quentin Johnston would do more. Like literally, if he would do that, Quentin Johnston would be the #1 wide receiver in this draft. But Zay Flowers, for someone who's like 5'9", he jumps like he's 6'4", and he doesn't care who's in his way, and he makes a play. Now, that may cause injury concerns in the future, but right now, he hasn't been that much injury prone, and he's been available when his team has needed him. He is an electrifying playmaker. I think literally if the Kansas City Chiefs were to draft him and trade up for him, he would be a playmaker week 1. That's how dynamic this dude is. Defenses would literally have to script and find a way to stop him, and he would fit the little guy wide receiver room with Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore. You add Zay Flowers, your big dude is MVS. That's why Chiefs Kingdom asked for big wide receivers. But I can see Coach Reid staying in that area because he knows how to bring the best out of these type of players, and he loves these players because they keep defensive coordinators late at night. So Zay Flowers would be such a fun addition, but also, I mentioned trading up, but how high do you have to trade up? Because there is even draft speculation that he might be the first wide receiver taken off the board. Not to say he's better than Jackson Smith and Jigba, but some people feel like his talent and how electrifying he might be is way more of an upside than what Jackson Smith and Jigba provides. So it's going to be so interesting to see how everything and how this draft unfolds. You thought we was done talking about trade-up scenarios? The Kansas City Chiefs are doing it to themselves, and they are giving us this type of content to where today they've also had a top 30 visit with one of the top offensive linemen in this draft in Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Yes, I don't know how the Kansas City Chiefs would do it, and this would be an offensive lineman I would love to have on this team. It would solidify one of the spots you want. Maybe right tackle. Maybe you move Jawan Taylor to right tackle, have him play left tackle. I don't know. But you feel more secure if the Kansas City Chiefs draft him. But at the end of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs would probably need to move higher than what they needed to do to go get Zay Flowers for Broderick Jones. He could easily be a top 15 pick, maybe even higher than that. So I don't know if we're starting to see the players the Kansas City Chiefs really want and they're trying to go after them and see what they're all about, or if this is the biggest smokescreen of smokescreens to where they're trying to fool the league and have teams trade up to get these players and have their guy fall to them. That's what's so fun about this draft process. You don't know anything until draft day is actually here. But man, Broderick Jones was one of those offensive linemen where you have a left tackle or right tackle for the next 10 years and it solidifies a hold. A lot of us want to see that wide receiver dynamic weapon. That way Patrick Mahomes has a guy to sling it around. But me and other Chiefs Kingdom, if you get Patrick Mahomes 5 to 10 seconds in the pocket, it doesn't matter who he's throwing to. He is going to look like one of the best players out there, which he already does. So take it up 10 notches. If no one touches Patrick Mahomes, that's already not fair. It's already not fair that he's Patrick Mahomes himself. But to give him a line like that would be so crazy. So it's interesting to see that the Chiefs are really going after these visits with top guys, like top 15 guys that can go early in the draft. It makes a lot of us feel like the Kansas City Chiefs can trade up in this draft, which a lot of us initially felt that way because the draft is in Kansas City and we feel like Brett Veach, Coach Reid, and even Clark Hunt want to make their name solidified in this draft, and they want to be the team to be remembered. I'm buying it. I'm buying that the Kansas City Chiefs will trade up. I just don't know for who or for what position, but whatever it'll be, I know Brett Veach has our best interests, and I know Coach Reid will get the boys ready to go in the regular season. But Chiefs Kingdom, that was a lot to wrap our heads around. it seems like the Kansas City Chiefs might trade up. They brought in Zay Flowers. They brought in Broderick Jones. Yesterday they had Quentin Johnston. Do you think the Chiefs will trade up, or do you feel this is all smoke screens and they will stay at 31 and they will have their guy fall to them? Jump in the comments down below. Let's discuss. Let's have fun. But before we do close this out, be ready for draft weekend because it's going to be crazy. All 3 days we're going live. Please check in. Please do subscribe to the channel. If you did like this video, please leave that big thumbs up. Y'all take care. Peace.